Terry, you were just talking about, we're talking about Tom Gores coming out and telling us how charitable he was, and he pretty much said, dude, your charity is going to make you millions of dollars.
But he also said this, without saying it, the fans, you're kind of stupid. I'm not selling the team. That's a ridiculous thing. But when fans chant sell the team, I don't think they really care if he sells the team or not. I think what's happening is people are frustrated. Do something. Sell the team, fire the general manager, fire something. Do something. And then this guy comes out, well, changes are going to be made. Now, this is how ridiculous this is. Changes are going to be made. Oh, is anybody going to be fired? I didn't say that, but changes are going to be made. Okay, I got news for you, Tom Gores. Every organization, every season makes changes. Players change. Same team doesn't come back next year. Assistant coaches leave. Some come in. Assistant general managers come and go. There's changes every year. To me, that's not saying anything. That's like icing. Let me just shoot the puck down the ice, and so people will get off my ass. That's what that's all about.
Okay, so don't expect any changes. The fact is the only way that if you're like real Pistons fans don't show up. Is that the biggest way that a fan can affect? You know, we've said it for 30 years with the Lions, which is never going to happen. But is that like really the only way? And still, that probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think to reach him because he won't have anyone to throw T-shirts to. So that could be. Something very detrimental.
So you're telling me Terry is getting worse before it gets any better? Don't expect any
but at least
legit changes.
People still sort of care,
and I think it's because they care for the players, Spenny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we see this absolute. This had to be what it was like back in medieval times when you had a donkey king, right? You just had like, what is this guy doing? So the people had to sort of surround to. Is that analogy offer?
Revolution, Pistons 2023.
But you know what? I'm going to disagree with that. I think they still care about the organization. When you look at the Piston players, who do you really care about?
Yeah, but you told me you don't care. So if you don't, nobody cares about the organization.
But they're still chanting sell the team, so they must care. But when you go there and there's nobody there and the people there aren't protesting or screaming something or screaming at the owner, that's the most dangerous thing, because then apathy sets in and then you have to do something stupid just to get people to care about your organization. It's better for them to be angry than to just not give a damn.
Okay, so how about for all the people who are like you that have like, and I consider myself more on that followed you this Pistons ride and the love of this, but you have to sort of like walk away. What's gonna reignite your fire? Is there something that he can do? Because right now there's nothing this man can say or do because he's shown you. Is there a pathway? Is it a move for a player? Is it an executive move? Is it Spenny, who are all the guys' heads you're calling for?
Arm Ed Tellum, Troy Weaver, get them all out of there.
Is that the?
I think that will get people's attention. I'm telling him, what does he do? He's an agent.
He does nothing.
This is Tom Gores' boy. And what Tom Gores is doing, he's bringing in people that he likes. Like the Blake Griffin trade to bring in Blake Griffin to the Pistons. That wasn't a move to make the Pistons a championship team. That was a fanboy, Tom Gores, bringing in one of his boys because he liked Blake Griffin because they used to talk a lot in Los Angeles. And I'm convinced that was a Tom Gores trade. Come on in here. If we trade for you, are you going to act a fool? And Blake said, no, of course not. And they traded for him.
Yeah, with all that money. That's the one thing, right? Having deep pockets and we complain about owners that won't spend, but what about owners that you can also, Terry, can't you overspend wrongly and really hurt your organization too? Now people think that if you have an owner that has an open pocketbook that you're safe, that you can buy your way out of it. Well, I mean, if he's smart, you should be able to, right, at some point. But if he's not, this could go even worse, can it?
Yeah. Maybe the terminology we should use is we want an owner who spends wisely. When you pay a lot of money for a coach who doesn't want to be here, is he really going to be motivated? When you pay a lot of money for a guy who's on his last leg, does that really help the organization? It's not the money that wins championships. It's people who win championships.
So is that what you're saying? Because I don't hear that, and I hear about Troy Weaver more and more and more. But is it the Monty Williams passion, the fact that he's just here for the check, and this is at the end of it?
Yeah, I think.
So is it a
games,
coaching? Is it like a coaching thing too? Like you were saying towards.
But there's so many bad layers going on with this team. You have bad ownership, you have bad management, you have bad players. So you put all that in a mix and you lose 28 games in a row. You have people saying, well, they're going to finish 2-80, and guess what? I'm not even laughing at them. That's how sad this is. Now, I don't think they're going to finish 2-80, but if you walk up to me and say the Pistons are going to be 2-80, guess what? I'm not going to look at you and say, man, what kind of fool are you? I'm not going to do that because we don't know where this is headed.
Well, will you let us know when it's going to get better?
Well,
Or when you're good, or when it's not going to get better any soon. So
No.
what if you're a player in this organization? What if you are the Cade Cunningham who's talking about being Noah and going down with the boat and stuff? You know, about being, but he's the one who's trying to be accountable here. Is he like pretty much just a martyr for better terms? Than
You know
not?
what? I've seen a difference in Cade. I think Cade is finally getting pissed off, but I think you got too many guys that are like, oh, dude, did my best. Didn't win tonight. We'll get them next time. No. Somebody needs to blow up that dressing room. And maybe the guy's Cade Cunningham. He's the leader of this organization. Somebody needs a player, not fans. Players need to tell Tom Gores. I know he met with him. Need to tell him, dude, let's get this shit together.
So, Terry, and you can never compare any other Pistons team, right? I know people are comparing about the teal, but like back in the 80s or the late 80s before Isaiah or whatever, like this, they weren't the powerful organization. They were sort of like needed the spark and something like this. Like it's maybe not ownership-wise hasn't been the problem, but we've been in these dark, murky waters before, haven't we?
Yeah, I have. I think the Pistons, for the most part, has been a bad organization. Terrible. But they had the run with Isaiah Thomas, and they had the run with the going to work.
So those
Pistons.
two runs take them out of terrible.
Right. Takes them out of
because
terrible.
they have those two runs, they're out of terrible. But
Now, other people will bring up, well, when Doug Collins was here, they won 50 games. You're right, but that was on, I'm going to say quicksand, because players were revolting. Players wanted to kill Doug Collins, and so they were playing well despite him. But then for the most part, it's been a horrible organization. They're bad in Fort Wayne. They're bad when they came to Detroit. They had Bob Lanier and Dave Bing, two Hall of Fame players playing at the same time. They couldn't beat anybody. I used to go down to Cobo and watch them just get their asses kicked by the...
But that's the whole point, Terry. Like, I think that of anybody in the city, like, you're one of the ones, and why, people might in the chat thread, and, I don't apologize, to the fact no one's covered this. You've seen more basketball. You love this organization as much as anybody who's ever played, for the Pistons. So I just wanted your sort of take, because you've seen different inclinations of it.
Yeah. Bro, what if Isaiah Thomas were on this team? He would have blown up the LCA by now.
Now is that Isaiah Thomas from when he immediately came in the organization, or would this be Isaiah Thomas 2 years in?
No, it was him from the word go, because when he came in, the Pistons were not interested in winning championships. Yeah, they wanted to win it, but their whole mindset was, let's try to win our 50 games and win a couple playoff series. And Isaiah Thomas was the one that said, no, that's not good enough. We're in it to win championships, so we're not in it at all. So they had a mindset of, let's just be competitive and let's give it the whole college try. Isaiah Thomas was the one that said, we're going to try to do better than this. And I don't think you have a player with the mindset of, let's turn this into a championship organization. You have an owner. I know people keep calling Tom Gores an absentee owner. I think the main problem with him is he's just a fan. He's like a fan who owns a team and doesn't have that I want to win at all costs. Because look at that. Dude is a billionaire. His main hobby, if you want to call it, is buying companies and then tearing them down and watch them appreciate. He's got everything he wants with the Pistons. He bought the Pistons for like $350 million. They're worth over $1 billion now. He's won. Guess who's not winning? Me, you, Gentry, Spenny, everybody out there. You're the ones not winning.